Marathons are hard. Whether it's a flat course, a hilly marathon, it doesn't matter. Running that distance is difficult in itself. So let me tell you that it was a huge mistake to choose one of the hilliest marathons as my first marathon. Thankfully, that was 2 years ago, so I get to block that right out of my memory. Until I did it again. 3 months ago, I chose one of the hottest and humid locations to run my second marathon. Now, doing these 2 brutal marathons taught me some very valuable lessons. So today, please don't let my pain go to waste, and let me tell you the 5 most valuable lessons that I learned from running 2 marathons. And if you stick around long enough, I'll give you a 6th bonus lesson that you could take into your races. What's going on, everybody? I am super excited to be back for the new year because new year means a reset, just a fresh start on everything, and a chance for me to post more consistently this year. So if you want to follow along on my entire running journey and all the marathons I'm going to be running this year, hint, there are going to be 2, then make sure to subscribe down below. Now, as you've already heard, I've ran 2 marathons in the past 3 years, and those have been known for being notoriously difficult. And because they're known for being difficult, I already somewhat psyched myself out before the marathon had even started. Which brings me to lesson number 1. Running takes a lot of confidence and a strong mental. Now, I ran the Honolulu Marathon last month, and that one was brutal to say the least. Usually people talk about hitting the wall at mile 20, and you kind of already prepare yourself going into it, but I hit the wall a lot earlier than that. I hit it at mile 13. What signaled that I'd hit the wall was just this overwhelming feeling that I was dizzy, a little tired, and couldn't keep up the pace that I was going. To confirm it, I poured some water on the back of my head because I was just absolutely overheating, and I felt just chills going all throughout my body. And once I poured water and I kind of snapped back out of it, I realized, okay, I'm going way too fast now, and I need to slow it down a lot or else I'm not gonna make it to the end. In doing that and realizing that that was the wall that I had hit, I kind of psyched myself out for the rest of the race. And because I hit the wall at mile 13 so early on in the race, I kind of just told myself, okay, this race is over. It's not a matter of hitting marathon pace anymore, it's just surviving. And when your mind gives up, your body quickly follows after. I've run plenty of speed workouts thinking that my body can't handle it anymore, yet just proved to myself that the body is so much more capable than you think. But during this marathon, I really let the negative thoughts get to me on hitting the wall, the overall stigma of hitting the wall, trying my best not to blow up and not look like an idiot and not take any risks. And so that's one of the first lessons that I learned, is to not let negative thoughts enter your brain so early on and let it stay there. Instead, treat your mind and body like your home. Acknowledge the negative thoughts, acknowledge that you're feeling it, and then say, okay, thank you, and move on from there. Close the door. Protect yourself so that your body can continue to thrive and continue to push throughout the marathon. This sounds so cheesy when I'm saying it out loud, but in a race, it could really be the difference between hitting your goal time and not hitting your goal time. Now it's currently 7:13 a.m. and I'm about to go hit my speed workout for the morning. So I'm gonna take you throughout my entire day as I continue to talk about the lessons I learned during my marathon. But first, it's time to get the speed workout in. Speed workout is complete, 6.27 miles, and I am tired and cold. It is freezing outside. Okay, 41 degrees, so California cold, at least. Today we just had a quick little fartlek workout, and just trying to get back into the groove of things, you know. Last month was the Honolulu Marathon, so that happened on December 15th? No, 14th. Then came back to California for 2 days, celebrated my birthday. No, not my birthday, celebrated my girlfriend's birthday. And then shortly after that, we went on a nice 2-week Asia trip. We went to Japan, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. So safe to say that I think I properly recovered from the Honolulu Marathon. It was 1.5 weeks of purely no running, followed by 2 weeks of intense walking in Asia. So I think that's the perfect way to get your legs feeling good again after a marathon. But we're gonna go home now. It's 8:18 a.m. and we're gonna go make some coffee and talk about lesson number 2. Now, one of the second and probably biggest lessons I learned from my most recent marathon, the Honolulu Marathon, is to never underestimate the weather. Now, going into Honolulu, people say it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, so you already know that going in, it's not going to be a PR course. However, I think that I let my ego get the best of me, and I just thought, the weather can't be that bad, right? Like, what are the chances that weather can affect your pace that much? It can. Definitely affect your pace a lot. Unfortunately, I had to learn that the hard way because on race day, it was 74 degrees, 92% humidity, and right off the bat, you could feel just how wet it is. Because by mile 3, I was already sweating. If you don't know, the combination of heat and humidity can really raise your heart rate a lot higher than it usually is. And so as a result, running the pace on the day of, especially when it's hot and humid, is going to be a lot harder than it should be. And so lesson number 2 is to adjust to how your body feels on the day of the race, because normal paces do not equal your race pace, especially if it's hot and humid. And if you struggle to wrap your head around what pace you should be running or how much slower you should be running when it's hot and humid, v.o2.com has a really good race day calculator to kind of calculate what pace your race day pace should be. Oh, that's good though. These are Kona coffee beans that I actually got after the marathon, and it's so good. Now, lesson number 3 was kind of a hard pill for me to swallow, but it is to listen to how your body feels, not the watch on race day. Now, if you're trying to hit a certain goal time, then checking your watch and making sure that you're on pace is great. But checking your watch every few seconds can actually be a detriment, because the more experience you get as a runner, the more you know how your body feels at certain paces. If you feel like your body is not responding well physically, go ahead and take it a notch back. But if your body is feeling great physically and you feel like you could push it a little bit, go ahead and do that. But make sure that you do it in a smart and controlled way. I just finished that crazy big breakfast. As I was running the speed workout this morning, I was just thinking about how hungry I was, and sometimes I use that as motivation to finish the workout faster so that I can come home and eat. But lesson number 4 is to train for hills even if you don't have to. Now, this is one of the more tougher ones for me to incorporate, but I learned this lesson the extremely hard way when I ran the San Francisco Marathon, which is notoriously known for being hilly, and the Honolulu Marathon, which has Diamond Head Peak spanning about 1.5 miles each way. Yeah, it's just not a fun lesson to learn during a marathon. Now, if you do train hills during your runs, you'll not only feel more physically prepared with your legs being more conditioned to these hills, but your brain will also be thanking you for knowing that you prepared for this, you know you can do this. If your legs aren't prepared, just like mine weren't, then your legs will cramp really easily, not on the uphill, but surprisingly on the downhill. Because when you're running down a huge downhill on mile 24 or 25, your thighs and shins take a beating. And so if you don't train for these properly, you're gonna cramp up really easily. So the 4th lesson is to train for these hills, even if it's just once or twice per month. There's so many different ways to incorporate hill training, such as running incline on the treadmill, doing some hill sprints, running an uphill tempo run. There's just so many different ways. For me personally, I do have a lot of hills around me, but I wanna focus more on getting my legs stronger and more conditioned. So during this general base building phase, as I'm starting up marathon training again, I'm gonna be doing more hill sprints. Time is about 10:37 now. I'm gonna go quickly rinse off and then head to the gym right after.
3 hours later.
It's currently 2:19 right now. I finished up some work and now I'm about to head to the gym. But one of the biggest things I learned during marathon training and running is that you need to eat, because fuel is so important for your body to perform and function. I'm saying this as I'm eating a yogurt right now right before the gym, because guys, it really is so important. Now, just to show what I've done, I wrote down everything I ate before, during, and after the Honolulu Marathon. And again, what I do isn't correct, it's just my experience, and I want to share that because if I were someone watching, I would want to know what someone else is eating, what they're doing, and what they're fueling with. So the night before the race is typically when you want to carb load. And for that night, I had fried rice and udon. Before, what I thought carb loading was just eating as much as possible, as many carbs as possible, but what ended up happening was I became super bloated, I overate, and I just didn't feel well during the race. So this time around, I decided to take it a little lighter and substitute more proteins and fats with carbs during my regular meals. So Again, not increasing the frequency of meals or the size of the meals, but more so just replacing the things within a meal with carbs. So I had fried rice and udon instead of something like a steak or something high in protein or fats. I also try to avoid fiber the night before a race. 2 to 3 days before is fine, but the night before a race I tried to avoid it just because I don't want to, have an emergency. The morning of the race I'm really proud of because I think this was what I've struggled with before and I think I really nailed down this time. So I had 2 Hawaiian buns, 1 instant oatmeal, 1 banana, and a carb drink mix. I'll throw up on the screen how many carbs that is exactly, but yeah, that was just probably the most I've ever eaten before a race, and also the cleanest food I've eaten before a race that I know sits well in my stomach, and the most carbs I've gotten before a race too. So I was very happy with that. Very, very happy, and I started off the race feeling really good. During the race I had 8 gels, and each of them had 24 grams of carbs each. Thinking back, I could have carried 1 or 2 extra gels because my goal time and my actual time were about 30 minutes off. I didn't really account for that extra 30 minutes. So I think I could have done a little better with an extra gel or 2, but 8 gels is plenty, and I think I did okay considering the circumstances. Now, a lot of people talk about nutrition before and during a race, but I think after is just as important. After I had dim sum and ramen, and yeah, saying it out loud now I just sound like a big bag, but I do think nutrition after is just as important because you want your body to recover after a marathon. You just ran 26.2 miles, your muscles and legs are probably destroyed, your whole body is destroyed, and you just need to replenish somehow and recover properly. So make sure you eat good after as well. So lesson number 5 is to eat carbs, eat lots of carbs, eat lots of carbs 2 to 3 days before the race, eat carbs during the race, and also don't forget to hydrate. I take electrolytes and water during the race because I don't want to just take one or the other. I want to make sure I take both at the same time, and I found that works the best for me. Now, I know there's a lot of research and articles about fat optimization and training while fasted, but I've just found that fueling up before and during big efforts or races works the best for me. I feel a lot better, I don't feel as tired, and I don't feel as lightheaded. So I just think that filling myself up with the proper nutrients and fuel before and during races is a non-negotiable for me. This is all what's worked for me through trial and error and research, and you're never gonna know unless you try it. So make sure to test it during your training, and don't forget to eat. With that, I'm gonna finish my yogurt and go to the gym because I've been yapping too much.
Eventually.
Just got done with our leg workout and ab workout, and it was hard. I was sweating, my legs were shaking, my abs were cramping. It was just pow! To close out this video, I have one final lesson. Do not try anything new on race day. Now, I learned this the hard way during my first marathon in San Francisco, where I wore Nike Alphafly 3s. If you know Nike Alphaflys or just carbon plated shoes in general, they will wreck your calves and legs if you don't get used to them or even just break them in. And yeah, prior to the marathon, I only had about 5 to 10 miles on that shoe. So yeah, it was just not a fun time. I was cramping everywhere. It was hard for me to walk after. It was just not a pretty sight to see. On top of that, as for your race kit, singlets, sports bras, t-shirts, half tights, shorts, socks, try all of these before your race day. And lastly, fuel. Try your gels during your long runs, but not just your gels, your before race nutrition too. Try those out before your long runs, the night before, the morning of. See what sits well in your stomach, what triggers it, what doesn't, etc. And those are the 6 lessons that I learned during my 2 marathons from the 3 years of running. If you like these lessons or you have any tips or tricks or any mistakes you went through and you want to share it, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below because they might help me too, honestly. I'm still relatively new to marathoning and I want to do well. I want to make sure I run the fastest time possible. So any tips or tricks you have, drop them in the comments below. I'm slowly starting up my marathon block and I'm going to be training harder than ever. So if you want to follow along, make sure to smash that subscribe button down below. Okay, don't smash it, just click it. But with that, I will see you guys for the next one.